is Riley, and I'm going to be giving you the lecture on the nutritional needs of a breastfeeding mother. Things that we're going to touch on are the proper nutrition while breastfeeding, caloric needs while breastfeeding, things to avoid, and also touching lightly on the nutritional needs of the pregnant woman. So the proper nutrition while breastfeeding is very important to sustain life, not only for your baby, but for yourself. So it'll definitely depend on your personal needs and the weight before your pregnancy, your activity level then and now, and also the history of all your other pregnancies if it was your first or your last. Let's see here. The protein needs. So protein is there to help build muscles in the uterus and the breasts. This also helps with the blood supply, and it supports the baby's tissue growth. We need about 71 grams of protein per day while breastfeeding to sustain life. The effect of low protein intake will happen as it will have smaller weighted babies, and we may or may not have health effects for them. So folate, what is folate? The folate is a vitamin that builds proteins in the tissue, and it is, examples of this are like broccoli and dark green vegetables, and a good fruit example would be oranges. A good rule of thumb would be 400 micrograms per day before your pregnancy, 600 while pregnant, and 500 micrograms per day while breastfeeding. So you may ask, what happens when with a low level of folate vitamin during pregnancy and during just during the pregnancy? It would be the birth defect, like the spina bifida. And the calcium needs. Calcium during breastfeeding is really important. If the mother is not consuming enough calcium for both the baby and herself, the calcium will be pulled from the mother's bones or other resources, which is always bad. Pregnant and breastfeeding women, 19 and older, need about 1,000 milligrams per day. And women that are under the age of 19 years old will need about 13 milligrams per day. Zinc is needed while breastfeeding and while pregnant, but while breastfeeding, we need about 11 to 12 milligrams per day for women over the age of 19. For the women under the age of 19, we need about 12 to 13. Now, low zinc levels will definitely affect the pregnancy, and that would include a long labor, and that's not fun, and small babies with possible health issues. And while breastfeeding, it would also inhibit the growth. We need zinc. So iron is one of the most needed items in the diet. It's actually used with supplements because the doctors, recommend that, and just to ensure that we get enough, because although less is needed for women while breastfeeding, it is recommended that we have about 10 milligrams per day, and it is needed for both the mother and the baby's blood supply. Now, I've broke down into a big chart of the different groups that we have that we'll need, and it's the milk group, the meats and beans, the fruit group, the vegetable group, the grains group, and the oils. Some examples of what is needed for these groups I've also laid out to get a better idea of how much is needed. Less is more, more is less. So the milk group, we need about 3 cups, and obviously the lower fat is better. 1 cup, which is 8 ounces of 1% or skim milk, 1 cup of low-fat yogurt, 2 cups of low-fat cottage cheese, and things like that. Meat and beans, we need about 5.5 ounces of healthy meat. So this one count of 1 ounce equivalent would be 1 ounce of lean meat, fish or poultry, 1 egg, 1 sliced lunch meat, 1 tablespoon of peanut butter, 1/4 cup of cooked kidney beans, pinto beans or garbanzo beans, or 1/2 ounce of nuts or seeds. For the group of fruits, we need 2 cups. So 1 cup of what that will count is 1 cup or 8 ounces of 100% juice, 1 large banana or orange, 1 small apple, or 1 cup of canned fruit. Remember, vitamin C is very important. Now the vegetable group needs about 2.5 cups, which 1 cup could equal 1 cup of cooked vegetables, 2 cups of raw leafy vegetables, or 1 cup, 8 ounces of 100% juice. The grains, we need about 6 ounces. This counts as 1 ounce equivalent of like a 1 slice of bread or 1 cup of ready-to-eat cereal. Oils, we just need about 6 teaspoons, which the common portions would be 1 tablespoon of oil equals 3 teaspoons, 1 tablespoon of margarine equals 2.5 teaspoons, 1 tablespoon of mayonnaise equals 2.5 teaspoons, 1 ounce of nuts equals 3 teaspoons, 2 tablespoons of salad dressing equals 2 teaspoons, a half of avocado equals 3 teaspoons, and 4 large olives equals half of a teaspoon. So some diet tips for the breastfeeding, which would definitely count for a variety of foods with lots of fiber and a lot more color. More color equals, better quality, and drinking plenty of fluids, at least 8 cups of 8 ounces of water total per day. The caloric needs of a mother, the body needs an additional 300 calories to sustain life and to support the growth of the baby. And that's on top of the recommended caloric needs of the average non-pregnant woman. So that would be recommended on your weight size and your height. So what foods and lifestyles to avoid while breastfeeding? The excess oils and the solid fat groups are obviously a no-go. And no alcohol. We don't want any alcohol in there, especially while breastfeeding, because what you eat, they eat. No diet pills, no crash diets, even though we've just given birth. Only natural ways of losing weight recommended by your doctor or your pediatrician. And of course, no illegal drugs of any kind. That goes for the non-pregnant, the pregnant, or the past pregnant. This is my works cited. I've got 3 different sources. My main source was from OSU, and that was a scientific page that I found. And I would like to thank my, before I thank, I would like to recap. Just remember different sources of the vitamins, the calcium, the sodium, all of that we've covered, so review that. And I would like to thank my live audience, which is my extra credit, my dog, Hazel, and my husband, Ricky. So thank you for listening to my lecture, and I hope you learned something.